So, God bless everybody. Matthew Miller here from Maranatha Ministries. Here we teach modified historic premillennialism. We call that the Relocation Prophecy Model. Let's take a look. Everybody has great consternation over when Gog and Magog battle is, and more importantly, what comes after it, which is Ezekiel's temple. Sequentially, this is what happens. The battle of Gog and Magog, and then Ezekiel's temple. Now, many people realize there are massive problems with Ezekiel's temple. For instance, the heights. The heights are left open. So it'll give you walls and rooms and no heights. So let's take a look at this. First and foremost, you have to realize that in Ezekiel chapter 39, this is how Gog and Magog gets wiped out. Ezekiel chapter 39, verse 6, and I will send fire on Magog and on those who live in security in the coastlands. Then they shall know that I am the Lord. Well, this verse is repeated in the book of Revelation. It is repeated in Revelation chapter 20, verse 9. It is the exact same event. They went up on the breadth of the earth and surrounded the camp of the saints in the beloved city. And fire came down from God out of heaven and devoured them. So, beyond contestation, Ezekiel chapter 39, verse 6 is Revelation chapter 20, verse 9. That being the case, you need to understand that this temple described is going to be in that magical place in time, wherein when this happens, this is the event that terminates the millennial reign of Christ. But you think in your brain that God performs the second resurrection of the unrighteous. You think that happens instantly. It doesn't. 7 years go by wherein creation is perfect. Literally, there is nothing living, nothing breathing except the righteous. No Satan, no bad people. Literally, it will be the perfect creation for 7 years. Because when we go to Ezekiel chapter 39, God plainly comes out and says that. It says, then those who dwell in the cities of Israel will go out and set on fire and burn the weapons, both the shields, the bucklers, the bows, the arrows, the javelins, the spears, and they will make fires with them for 7 years. You're supposed to know that Ezekiel chapter 40, to the end of the book, describes the temple that's going to house the pillar of the presence. All you have to do is just keep going down. Now, take note, we're going to jump down here to verse 12. He says it again. For 7 months, the house of Israel will be bearing them in order to cleanse the land. The lands must be cleansed. All right? Now, you have to realize that for that 7 years, God the Father comes down. He plainly says this in Ezekiel chapter 39. So, once Gog and Magog has been buried, and it states the land, it means the planet. Oh, planet must be cleansed from their dead bodies. Once it's cleansed, that's when Ezekiel's temple is built. Picking it up in verse 21 of Ezekiel 39 puts this beyond contestation. Now remember, The Lord Jesus Christ is sitting on his throne in Jerusalem. God says this, verse 21 of Ezekiel 39, I will set my glory among the nations. All nations shall see my judgment which I have executed and my hand which I have laid on them. So the house of Israel shall know that I am the Lord their God from that day forward. It's literally saying that we are going to know him. We already know Jesus Christ has been reigning for 1,000 years. This is a magical moment in time when the Lord Jesus Christ will sit on his throne in Jerusalem. And in God's temple, he who sitteth upon the throne in heaven will sit upon it. That's what God just said. So it's not until the end of these 7 years that God recreates the heavens and the earth. The Ezekiel's temple is plain to the text. If you plainly read the Hebrew and you plainly read the Greek, this is the plain reading prophecy model. Ezekiel's temple is the temple in which the pillar of the presence shall dwell. That temple will be the temple of course, the Lord Jesus Christ. Christ will be the King, and God the Father will be there at the pillar of the presence. He will be the priest. It will be as creation as it was supposed to be. So, just take note. I'm going to say this again. This is beyond contestation. Ezekiel chapter 39, verse 6. It is Revelation chapter 20, verse 9. It's the same verse. When you know this, you're able to answer so many questions. Yes, the battle of Gog and Magog terminates the millennial reign of Christ. It is when Satan is released from the abyss and he who sitteth upon the throne exterminates them. And he doesn't go back to heaven, he stays here. And that's how it is for an undisclosed period of time, let us say. If it states that it takes 7 months to purify the land, will that temple be built in the 8th month of the first year? Will the total time that God will dwell in Ezekiel's temple before he recreates everything? Is he going to stay there basically for 6 years and 5 months? These are important questions that should be asked. This is enough to blow your mind when God has given you this much information, because I'm going to push the issue with you now. Please start reading the Bible, please. God did not write it to confuse you. He wrote it to explain to us exactly what he intends to do. And what he intends to do is exactly what's going to be done. So I hope you were edified by this video. I implore you to start looking into the Hebrew and the Greek. That is God's holy word, not the English translations. Massive online resources have been provided for you at this point. I always use Blue Letter Bible. I'm using it right now. So I implore you, start reading the Bible for yourself. Do not trust in the traditions of men. Please like and share and subscribe if this video edified you, and please comment. Please put your prayers in the comments.